What's up guys, Chigs there from Chigs Tech Reviews. So today I bring you a head-to-head comparison between two new VIVO mid-range smartphones. So we have the VIVO V25 versus the VIVO V25 Pro. Now both smartphones are powered by a Mediatek Dimensity chipset. They both offer a mid-range to high performance, and in this video we are simply trying to find out what are the main differences between these two smartphones. Alright, so design and feel. How do they feel in my hands? Well, the V25 has a glass back with a smooth matte finish, metal frame going all the way around. The color is called surfing blue, and the back is actually color changing fluorite AG glass. So UV light actually changes the color from this clear light blue color into a sapphire blue. And I want to give you a quick demonstration of the color changing feature. I've got a stencil here, so I just want to show you guys something cool. Okay, let's just zoom in. Watch this guys, you can see what the color is. All I'm doing is shining the UV light on top, and it's almost as if I'm painting it a different color. So this is effectively what the sun will do, but with a stencil you can make designs. That's done. Watch this guys. Oh my god, that is incredible. So as you can see, that is a woman surfing. It looks almost like we've tattooed that on. That is incredible. Now just imagine, with a bit of imagination, you could make your own stencil. Now this graphic will just disappear, so as soon as the UV light hits it at a certain angle, it will start changing color. Let me show you what happens if I shine UV light on it right now. We'll color the whole thing in real time. This is actually amazing guys. Wow, the longer I hold it on, the darker the shade is. So definitely the first time I've experienced a color changing back glass. That is absolutely incredible. Surfing blue color. It's available on both phones actually, so you could pick up the V25 Pro in the same surfing blue with the color changing, but over here I've actually got the Starlight Black. So it's also made from the same fluorite AG glass, so the color doesn't change on this one. Instead, in the right lighting conditions, you will see sparkles like stars on it. So you have to kind of look closely, and the light has to hit it in the right direction. So the design and build quality is literally the same. Glass back, glass front, and metal going all the way around. And I do want to show you guys, the V25 has an almost iPhone style flat edges with slightly rounded corners going around, and the V25 Pro has the Samsung Infinity style curves on the back and the front. So if we talk about thickness, the V25 Pro is 8.62 millimeters thick versus 7.79 millimeters thick. And also the weight, V25 weighs 190 grams versus 186 grams. So the V25 is lighter and smaller in size and display. Now we're going to quickly compare the ports. We have exactly the same layout at the bottom. You can see SIM tray, microphone, Type-C charging ports, and single speaker. On the side, both have volume rocker and power button. On the top, we just have single microphone on both, and on the side we have nothing on either. Now both phones have an AMOLED display, but slightly different in size and tech. So the V25 has a 6.44 inch 90Hz display, and the V25 Pro has a 6.56 inch 120Hz display. And I do want to quickly show you that both phones do support Smart Switch, so it can automatically switch the resolution depending on what you're doing, or you have the option to go 60Hz all the time, or 90 or 120Hz all the time. Now screen resolution, both Full HD Plus, but slightly different. So the V25 has a 2404 by 1080, and the Pro model has 2376 by 1080. V25 has 2.5D curved glass versus 3D curved glass, and I'll give you a close-up of the screens as well. So 2.5D curved glass is the V25, and 3D curved glass, which actually curves slightly around the edges, a bit like what Samsung and Huawei like to do. So the V25 Pro has a bigger screen, higher refresh rate, but both do support HDR10+. Now battery capacities, V25 has 4,500 mAh and the V25 Pro has 4,830 milliamp hours. V25 supports 44 watts of fast charging versus 66 watts of fast charging in the Pro model, and both chargers are included in the box. But if you look closely, you can see that the V25 charger is clearly 44 watts max, but the V25 Pro actually says 80 watts max on there. Furthermore, both phones also provide the same accessories inside the box. So you're getting a pair of wired headphones, 3.5mm, and you get that in both boxes. SIM eject tool. We've got a Type-C to Type-A charger. We've got a Type-C to headphone jack adapter and a silicone case. So both phones do come with exactly the same accessories, but you get the 44 watt charger versus the 66 watt charger. Now let's talk about processing power. Now both phones are powered by Mediatek's Dimensity chipsets. So the V25 is powered by the Dimensity 900, which is a 6nm octa-core clocked at 2.4 GHz. And the V25 Pro is powered by the Mediatek Dimensity 1300, which is also a 6nm octa-core but clocked at a faster 3 GHz. Also, graphics are slightly different. We have the Mali G68 versus Mali G77. Both have LPDDR4 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Now Vivo sent me the 8+256 variant of the V25 and the 12+256 variant of the V25 Pro. Also, neither phones support microSD expansion or have any headphone jacks, but both do support dual SIM 5G. Alright, so let's check out the cameras. Now this is going to be quite straightforward because both phones have exactly the same camera setup. So both have 64 megapixel primary, 8 megapixel super wide and a 2 megapixel macro. So same cameras and same camera bump design. However, the selfie cameras on the front are slightly different, and you can see they're designed a bit different as well. The standard model gives you 50 megapixels and the Pro model gives you 32 megapixels. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and check out some side-by-side camera samples and find out for sure if they do look the same or not. So starting off with video recording, both phones shooting at their maximum resolution. So V25 is shooting at 4K 30 and the V25 Pro is shooting at 4K 60. Now both apparently have optical image stabilization on, but they're not looking very stable, although they do look identical. Now for the next clip, I've switched to 4K 30 on both cameras, and as you can see, for some reason the VIVO V25 Pro is super stable, but if you look at the V25, it looks like I'm jumping all over the place with no stabilization at all. Let's 2x zoom on both and maximum 10x zoom on both. Alright, switching to the front cameras and maximum video resolutions on both. So the V25 we're shooting 4K 30 again, but the V25 Pro shoots 1080p at 60 FPS max. Now both clips look good, but I'm actually preferring the full HD video on the right. For some reason it just looks better than the 4K. Okay, we are leveling the playing field again. So both front cameras shooting 1080p at 60 FPS, and once again I'm preferring the V25 Pro over the V25. Let me know what you think. Okay, so time to compare some photos. V25 shoots 12.5 megapixels in standard photo mode, otherwise known as bin shots. But the V25 Pro shoots 31 megapixel photos in standard photo mode, bin shots. And you should be seeing the resolution information on the screen. Let me know which one you think takes better shots. They are quite even, but I'm seeing a little bit more detail in the Pro model. So interesting results, let me know which one you prefer. So a photo taken at 2x zoom, and this one is 10x zoom. Alright, just sharing a few natural outdoor selfies with all enhancements off. Alright, check it out. This is the part where I shoot random colourful things in my kitchen. The next few shots have been taken in a completely dark room, so night mode on both. Alright, so we're going to quickly compare the DRMs, and as you guys can see, both have Widevine Level 1 certification, and happy to say that both support Netflix HDR. And here is CPU-Z, where you can check out the clock speed, so you can see clock speed 2.4 GHz and 3 GHz. And the GPU is indeed the Mali G68 versus the Mali G77. And both are running Android 12 with Funtouch OS 12 on top. So we've got 8 gigs of RAM and 12 gigs of RAM, but you can double that with virtual RAM. So you can use some of that storage space to increase the RAM. So you can have 8+8 or 12+8. Alright, so now let's compare the benchmarks. And as you can see, Geekbench 5 results, V25 achieves a single core score of 706 versus 676. And multi-core score 1998 versus 2230. So the standard V25 has performed slightly better in single core score, but the Pro model has scored slightly better in the multi-core score. So maybe Antutu could be the deciding factor. So let's open up Antutu. You can see a big difference there. So Antutu benchmark test, V25 scores 438K versus 699K. So drastically different results here, and you can see why. So we already know the Pro version has a slightly faster clock speed, and that shows in the CPU score, and the GPU is also slightly higher in the Pro model, and that shows there. Memory, we've got more RAM, 12 gigs versus 8 gigs, and again that's the reason why it wins the memory test. And finally, when comparing the overall user experience, it's given the Pro version a higher score. So no doubt the Pro version is a bit more powerful, and it shows in the benchmarks, but you're not going to see that difference unless you do something graphically intense, like maybe play a game like COD Mobile, which we're going to do in a bit, so I will show you that in action too. So let's also compare the temperatures before starting the benchmark test. So the V25 started off with 33.7 degrees. And the Pro model started off at 35.6 degrees. And the end results after the benchmark test, the standard model ended with 37.7 degrees and the Pro model ended at 42.3 degrees. So temperatures were higher in the Pro model, both starting and finishing. So we've seen from recent trends, power equals heat. Now even though the Pro model has higher temperatures, it's not going to overheat. It has a bionic cooling system. So it's got a multi-layer cooling system inside the V25 Pro. The standard model doesn't have any cooling at all. Alright, so it's time for some gaming, and we are no doubt going to be playing my favorite game, Call of Duty Mobile. First thing is first, we need to compare the COD graphics. So if I grab the V25 first of all, you can see the maximum graphics selectable on the V25 is high, and the maximum frame rate is max. Now here's the thing, if you select max, the graphics drops down to low. If you select medium, you can see what's happening. Select high, it goes to very high. So the maximum selectable graphics and frame rate is high and very high. If you ever want to play max, you can only play on low graphics. So just a quick side by side, you can see the differences right there. So the Pro model lets you select very high and max at the same time. It doesn't drop the graphics down. So you can no doubt expect a much better gaming performance from the Pro model. And I'm not just going to say it, we're going to test it. So let's play a round on each.
We captured Alpha. Enemy has J. They go down. Headshot. We lost the lead. Capturing C. UAV recon ready for deployment. Targets inside. Enemy down. Tied for the lead. We're capturing B. Losing C. Losing A. Contact with enemy. Taking the lead. Target down. Captured Bravo. UAV online. Lost Alpha. Sentry gun ready for deployment. Stealth chopper on capture A. Contact with enemy.
So we played a game of COD. I just want to quickly check the temperatures before we move on. So you can see CPU temperature is at 47 degrees. It's dropping down now to 45. Now we're going to play on the V25 Pro. So the graphics are actually set higher than the other phone.
Capturing C. Target down. We captured B. Enemy contact. Untied for the lane, ready for deployment. Reloading. Cover me, reloading. Enemy down. We've taken the lead. Hunter-killer drone deployed. Lost Bravo. Heads up, team. Sentry gun ready to deploy. Targets in sight. Reloading. Cover me. Airstrike is ready. Get on them. This will capturing C. Enemy in sight. Target down. We captured C. UAV online. Sight. Losing Alpha. Sentry gun deployed. Contact with enemy. Back up. We lost A. Friendly stealth chopper down. Sentry gun ready for deployment. Down. Reloading. We're capturing A. Target down.
So that was the gameplay on both phones, and I thought the Pro version played much better. It looked better as well. We've got some gaming modes and boosts that you can play around with. So if you just swipe out from the side, I'll show you a close-up of one of them, and you can see you can go into boost mode, balance mode, or battery saver mode. So you just swipe to change the settings. There are other settings you can activate, like 4D game vibration. You've got esports modes, background calls, eagle eye view. You've even got a voice changer, which is quite cool. So the gaming modes are available on both phones. There you have it, guys. That was my quick comparison test between the VIVO V25 versus the VIVO V25 Pro. A few things I will mention: you don't get any wireless charging or IP rating in either phone. Also, a slight letdown is both phones have a single bottom firing speaker. Now, the speakers are loud and clear and decent quality, but stereo speakers would have been nicer, especially in the Pro model. Nevertheless, both phones are offering an amazing overall experience. Performance is great, and to find out more info, including price, offers, etc., do check out the links in the description. I'm definitely loving the color changing feature of the V25, and you can't just do it once. You'll find yourself trying it out again and again. So this time I'm only going to draw the stencil of the lady on the surfboard, nothing else. Oh, that looks sick. Check it out, guys. So if you are considering either version of this phone, definitely go for the surfing blue color. You can get it on the Pro version as well. I hope this video helps you see the main differences between these two phones. Do let me know in the comments which one you would want from the two. Meanwhile, please hit the like button if you appreciate my efforts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.